Well, I'm hoping this is working. I was striving to do things a little bit different way, and due to technical difficulties, things didn't quite work out that way. So, I'm here with you. I'm Dave Stelmachewski. The new website is going to be coming up soon. It's davestelma.com. I welcome you to tonight's live at the Improv, I guess, because we're going to go through a few things. Hopefully I can see some comments as you go on. Hello, Ember. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to get going in just a few minutes. But so tonight was a great example of what I was going to talk about. I had a whole video set up, new software, everything. It tweaked it out. I tested it. It all worked. And I just tried to load up to Facebook, and there must be a ton of people on at this moment in time. And it all just kind of went awry. So you always have a backup to a backup to a backup, right? So I just threw on my smartphone, and hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully give me something in the old chat there if you can, and let me know if you can hear this at all. And we will, let me click on a few things here. Hopefully I can see you in there too. There we go. So my warm-up didn't help, didn't come up, and the software didn't quite work right. So hopefully I can get the way it was set up to work, and we'll go from there. And hopefully I can see your comments along the way. So if you can, shoot them out to me in the on Facebook here. You shoot them in the comments section, and we'll go from there. But anyway, so what I was going to talk about tonight, ironically, was how we react to an event or a situation in our life. So that's the biggest point. It's not so much the event that happens to us, it's more about how we react to it. Jack Canfield has E plus R equals O, the outcome. So event plus your reaction equals your outcome. So a great example of this is driving on the highway and the byways of life, and seeing that, you know, how you react to someone cutting you off, things of that sort. That's the most obvious one. But otherwise than that, it's like the one that I can probably reflect to more is going to be, well, this event tonight too. There's a great example of it. I had everything set up, everything was working, I tested it, went through a few computer glitches this afternoon, and then all of a sudden I came on here to go live about 15 minutes ago to do a little preemptive show, and it kind of all just did not work quite the right way. The bandwidth or something is off on here, so it's like I couldn't get it to feed out. It was just doing it in little segments. So I could either react to it and throw my hands up and get frustrated and go out there and you know, throw things down. I'm not doing this, so I can walk away. Or what I did is I just grabbed my iPhone. I was like, you know what? I said I was going live, so I'm going live. So I just threw on the iPhone, put it into the tripod here quick, and went, here we go, let's do her. And so I'm here for you. And that's a great example of how to react to something. Make it a positive. Everything's happening for a reason out there. You're on life's journey, and it's where do you want that journey to go. So you can set up goals, but goals are only as good as the actions that you take to make those goals happen. So as you're going through life, think about that. That's why goals are made, and that's why people that you envy them. You're like, you're thinking, boy, how did they get so far? I hear that all the time. What did they do that's so different? What's the magic formula that they have? The magic formula is that they set an intention, they set a goal and their intention to go with it, and then that just gravitated them to it. So hopefully this keeps going on. I just saw my storage is full. Hopefully that's not a bad thing. So we're going to go as far as we can on this because it is live. So if you do have questions, I'm going to see if I can figure that out because I was going to use my phone. That's the trick I learned. I'm going to use my phone to get the comments in here so I could answer questions along the way, but it doesn't look like the comments are flowing in that way. And I'm hoping I can see comments as we go live on here. So if you do have comments, I guess see if I can get to them on there. Otherwise, like I was saying, you can react to the event that's happening. You can either throw your hands up, you can walk away, you can quit, you can, the more positive side is formulate a plan. What do you want to do? What's your goal that you're trying to attain with your business? I help entrepreneurs every day. Mostly little startup little companies, 1-2 person startups, and those are the ones that I really embrace and really love working with because you can go farther with them. You can help them grow from the very beginning, just to start out and go from there. And that's what I love to work with. And those people, the first agenda that we always say is, let's do a business plan. People think that they need a business plan just for getting capital to start their business. But it's more than that. It's a vision. So I've worked with people where they're just like, oh, I want you to write this business plan for me. Give me the numbers, give me the statistics, let me do things for me. And it doesn't work that way. You have to have that vision. You have to have it embrace you. It's got to come within your soul, your spirit. It's got to go out farther from that. And that's really where you have to go with this. And so that becomes part of you, and then you start making these goals and you start like envisioning how to attain those goals, and you keep going farther with those goals. So that's really the whole essence of this. First with that business plan, start out, make that, have a vision, have a goal, because if you write that vision down, it somehow just becomes part of you. That's why people that journal will attain more in life, because they start journaling. They write it down. They physically write it down. I think if you tap it into a computer, it's not quite as well as if you're actually doing it for yourself. Handwriting it down into there, it just becomes a part of you. It's like a physical touching thing, right? Pen to paper. And then reading it, refining it. What is it, what changed over time? What's going to be different? But yeah, so part of that is, I also I had a little sign over here that was going to look great. It looked great on the camera before, but oops, was this one, and that looks backwards to you. So I should put it this way, right? Oh no! Well, what it says, real secret to success is enthusiasm. So that's a real huge component to it, and that's because enthusiasm comes from within. It's when you're happy, you're enthused, right? You're excited, you're enthused. These are all positive things. They're uplifting things. So if you utilize that with enthusiasm, that's how it's going to go farther. You're going to attain those goals faster. Now the other thing is action. Taking action every day. So you have a goal, you made your business plan, you have a goal, and then how are you going to attain those goals? It's by action, by taking action every day. I always limit it when you're first starting out, do 3 things every day towards your goal. So whatever those 3 things, 3 phone calls, 3 emails, it can be as simple as that, or it could be 3, knocking on 3 doors. And once you get the hang of the 3, now you expand it to 5. But you go farther and farther because those 3 become just an easy thing. You can get those 3 done by 10 o'clock. Well, what am I going to do for the rest of the day? So with the rest of the day, now you're going to do 5 a day, right? It's going to get easier and easier and easier and easier to do these things. So that's the key components to that. So action would be something. I'll give you a good example of mine. My whole life, I had a heart valve, a bicuspid heart valve, which means instead of in the aortic valve, instead of 3 flaps that went lub-dub, lub-dub, I had 2 that just went whoosh, 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 whoosh. So my whole life, I was told to be limited. Only do so much. If you feel tired, settle down, relax. Don't overexert yourself, things of that sort. And so what I did that my whole life. Didn't really go out for sports because, you had a heart, valve, bad heart valve, things of that sort. So all of a sudden, as I got older, you get the tests and you have the echo and things of that sort every 5 years. And then as I got older, I got into my 40s, they did it every year and did it forward that way. And then eventually I got the phone call. I went in 2011 and for my yearly checkup, and got the phone call saying, what do you, first I went in, got the echo. Friday night came, cell phone goes off. I look down at the cell phone, and I see it's my cardiologist. And I'm like, ooh. I look at the clock on the wall, and it was like, it's 6 o'clock on a Friday night. Probably not good news, right? So answer the phone. Dr. Stein then was like, hey, Dave, remember when I told you I'm going to tell you when it's time? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, it's time. We should get this done within the next 6 weeks. So at that point, my reaction, that was the event, right? So my reaction could have been, oh no, what's going to happen? I'm going to die. What's going to, I could go that route. Or the route I chose was, okay, let's get this done. I feel good. I feel healthy. I always ate well. I always try to moderately exercise, take good care of myself that way. And I felt good about this. So what I did at that point, I just constructed a plan. Yes, there was a possibility I may not survive, right? So I made sure all those things were in alignment. I had my life insurance was all, boom, everything was set out. But more importantly, I was like, I started making little goals in my mind. When I get done with this, I think I could probably pretty much do all those things I always wanted to do. So one of the things I wanted to do was run a 5K. So I thought to myself, once this all goes through, everything's good, everything is, healthy and that, and all on the mend, I think I want to run a 5K. So what I did, go through the operation, come out, do physical therapy. Within 4 to 6 weeks, they're like, everything's good. Pretty much you're go out, go do it. Do whatever you want to do physically. And I was like, I want to go run a 5K. So I set out on the mission to do that, and as soon as I said that to the physical therapist at that time, she was like, "Ooh, take your time. Maybe hit that goal in a year, 2 years, whatever." And I was like, I looked at her and I said, "You just told me I could do anything I wanted to do, and this is what I wanted to do." Like, since I heard about this operation, I was like, "Wow, I could do this." So I said, "No, I'm going to do it within 6 months." So I got out of the hospital. The operation was on the 15th of March. I ran. Long story short, let's go short, right? I talk too much. That's what people tell me. I talk too much. Let's go. Long story short, end of September, I ran my first 5K. Was I the fastest person there? Absolutely not. No, I think I ran that in about 38 minutes. That was not a fast 5K, but I ran a 5K, 3.1 miles. I was cool with that. I was just like, I did this. But what that did is I had an awakening at that moment. It wasn't about the race. It was about accomplishing it. I thought of all the things that I did to lead up to that. I took action. So every day I went out and ran. Or I should say every other day. Went out and I ran. And the first time I went out there, I was like, I can do this. I just threw on some shorts, threw on some shoes, and ran out the door. And in Wisconsin, it's not always a great day to run. I'll tell you that much. But I ran. I got probably what I thought was probably a mile. It was probably about 30 feet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm winded. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, and then I walked for a long ways, and then I ran for a little bit more, and I walked for a long ways. But then I started like researching, like, what could make me faster? What could I do to get faster, to do better, to actually just run the whole thing instead of running and walking, running and walking? What could I do? Nutrition was one. So I started reading up on nutrition, how to eat better, how to eat on race days versus eating on a regular day, alternating the running days every other day, doing that, building up your miles that way, going, and just the other thing is finding a pace. What was a good pace for me that I could run farther, for a longer period of time? And so it was finding those paces, not worrying about being first, not worrying about, going out there and, I got to look good when I'm out there running. Runners don't look good after a while. At some point, you're going to break a sweat, and it's just not pretty. So I did that, though. It was the steps I took. It was the actions that I took every day, or every other day, I should say. And getting it done. I was really proud of myself. So I celebrated a little bit. I'm not a drinker, but I celebrated by, I think I went out and got a great lunch that day. And I told people of my story, and all of a sudden I got more and more people that were asking me about my story and what was going on with that. But we'll talk about that another day, in being an inspiration. The other thing I want to talk about tonight, so just in case we're on the same page and everything. So event plus your reaction equals your outcome. Just write that down. Event plus reaction equals outcome. Work on the reaction. Don't worry about the event, because events happen to us every day, right? How we react to those are going to be the outcome. So react with your outcome in mind. You want to lift somebody's spirits up, react in a positive, smile, happy, hugs, things of that sort, whatever you're comfortable with. Do those things, and that will determine the outcome. But concentrate, focus on the reaction and what you want for an outcome. That outcome is going to be your goal. The other thing, I just was going through some of my emails and that today. And the other thing I want to talk about was mentors. Mentors versus coaches. I coach a good number of people on a personal level as far as getting their businesses going, helping them with their businesses. And some of that turns into the personal aspect also. But there's also, I also mentor people, and mentoring people is doing like this. Doing a live Facebook feed out to other people that can then see this and maybe inspire them. Something of that sort. So it can be just a mentoring thing like this sort. Also, if you go over, if you go on, I'm working on a new website, davestelma.com. It's not up yet, so don't look for it yet. In the next couple of weeks, hopefully next week or the week after, I'll be able to launch that out, and you guys can see that. Right now, I'm still using the run2retirement.com. That's run2retirement.com. If you go on there right now and sign up for the email list, you'll be able to then get emails, and I'll let you know whenever other things come up. But I'm working on different mentoring things where you can just get like an email a day that's just going to be an inspiration for you to keep you going. As entrepreneurs, we have a hard time. We start out real enthused. We start out just, we got this product, you got this widget, you got just a service that you want to embrace and give to others, and you have this knowledge you want to share. And we start out all enthused, revved up. We jump in there. We jump in the deep end. We're getting things going, and then all of a sudden, it's like you hit that first month where the sales are low, or the phone's not ringing, or something. It's just all of a sudden, what do you do? I want to be one of those sources, and there's many sources out there. I have mentors: Jack Canfield, John Maxwell, Brian Tracy, Oprah. Oprah is a big mentor of mine, and so I want to be one of those mentors for other entrepreneurs and or just business people. You can go to this Facebook page where I'm broadcasting this now, which is Run Into Retirement. Because but now I'm kind of going into a different direction with the branding. So that was one of my business decisions I had to make. Instead of doing the run2retirement.com, I decided to go with davestelma.com. I'm getting more speaking offers and things of that sort, and they're not quite fitting with the run to retirement aspect. So anyway, so that's my story. So I just want to come on here tonight and go through a couple of things. I'm going to do this weekly. Hopefully next week I get the bugs worked out on the computer, the software. Yeah, that stuff happens, and you got to go with the flow, and that's the reaction to it, right? So now I have a week to do my homework, get this back up and going, and hopefully work out the bandwidth thing. I think that's what killed me on this. Everything was in slow motion. So, but next week I'll be back here. Hopefully that'll get all worked out. Otherwise, this works for me too. If you have comments on that, though, I'll have to work out that because I didn't get to see comments or anything along the way here. So I'm sorry if there was something that shot out to you. I'll see it back in the replay, and I will go through comment by comment, and I will reply to those. So hopefully that's all going to be worked out, and I will be there for you on this. You take a chance, you do it. You got to take action. So this week, what I want you to work on is the reaction. So event plus reaction equals outcome. Have that outcome. Those are your goals that you want to attain. If you want more clients, how do you react? If you're in a grocery line and all of a sudden somebody cuts in front of you, Hey, how's it going? How's your day going? Maybe ask them a couple of questions. Get in their psyche, and maybe you'll earn a client that way. You'll react in a different way. Or you can be angry, and then all of a sudden they walk into your store or they go online, they see that, and the outcome is going to be, I don't like him. I don't like Dave. Dave's bad. He reacted bad to me in a grocery line. You won't see that from me, by the way. I'm probably one of the most patient people in the world, and I'm not just saying that as an ego boost or something. I pride myself on that. That's one of the things I will brag about. I have patience. I always say, be like a good doctor and have lots of patience. But go out there this week and work on that reaction to attain your outcome. And then act. And the other thing is actions. Make a list at night before you go to bed. Make a list of everything you want to get done the next day. I tell you, it will change your life. It'll change your business. If you write that list the night before and you focus on that list and you just go to bed, and let God, let your angels, whatever, however you want to call it, let them feed your brain and your soul and your spirit with the answers to how to attain those goals that next day. And you will be amazed how much more you will get done. Sorry about the whole software thing. I apologize for that. But hopefully this worked. And like I said, any comments that did come through, I'll go through manually and I'll answer them. I'll answer them one by one on there for you and get back to you on those. But you just got to go with the flow. When things like this happen, you just got to go with it, right? Because we're all out here to help others attain more in life. And that's going to be the easiest way is for us to share our knowledge. So hopefully this was informative for you. It helped you out in some way. People that have already taken classes with me in that are probably like hearing this again and going, oh no, he's talking about actions and that. But I double dog dare you to go out there and react and towards your outcome and take action every day. Take 3 actions every day towards your goal. And if those 3 are easy, come easy, take 5. Do 5 and you'll get there even faster. It just gets faster and faster and faster and faster and faster as we go through. So go to runtoretirement.com, sign up for the email list if you want to know, and I'll shoot out emails throughout the week or prior to these coming up to remind you. And then otherwise, like this Facebook page. This is going to be changing a little bit over time. It takes a little bit more with Facebook. You have to ask the Facebook gods to bless you to change the name. But eventually this will probably be Dave Stelma of DaveStelma.com. I'm Dave Stelmashewski, but it's easier, Dave Stelma, right? You can type in Dave Stelma, Dave Stelma with an A.com. Yeah, you can get that pretty easy. So anyway, so I will let you go. Thanks for being with me for this first Facebook Live, even though it didn't go the way I planned. Nothing does always go the way you plan. So then you got to roll with the punches and keep taking action. So go out there this week, go get them, and share your knowledge with other people too. And be good to everyone. Be good to your neighbors. Have a great week.